Welcome to the Miracle Mama Show. My name is Ashley Sabali. I am the founder of Miracle Mamas, which is a maternal health project that empowers women and raises the bar in maternal health one step at a time. I have the privilege and honor of interviewing my good friend, Johanna Kasperski, who is a wife, a mom, a licensed therapist, an entrepreneur, a children's author, and Mrs. Illinois Galaxy. I'm so honored for her to be here today. And this is my very first interview on the Miracle Mama Show, so I hope you enjoy. Hi, everyone. I have Johanna Kasperski with me today. She is a wife, a mom, a licensed therapist, and she is our very own Mrs. Illinois Galaxy. Thank you, Johanna, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I'm very humbled. You're my first interview, and I'm just excited to have my audience get to know you more and all the wonderful things that you do. So just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a licensed clinical professional counselor. I just opened my own practice, White Orchid Counseling. I'm also a new mom to a 10-month-old, and I just published a children's book. And it follows a little girl named Deborah, named after my daughter, and her struggle with anxiety and her first visit to a therapist to learn coping skills for anxiety. And within the book, there are some coping skills I teach my clients of all ages. So the children and the parents reading it can have some really beautiful coping skills to use on a daily basis. I did the writing. I didn't do the illustration because I'm not that talented, but I hired a wonderful illustrator, and I told her I wanted it to look like Cocomelon characters because that's what my daughter loves. The proceeds go to the White Orchid Fund, and it goes to people coming to my practice who have really high copays and can't afford it. So we'll pay for their copays or to offer more free pro bono sessions to clients. So right now we have 3 clients at my practice who are getting counseling completely free. And we're hoping to be able to add more slots with the proceeds of the book.
That is amazing. So tell me a little bit about your practice. I've seen like a little bit of a sneak peek of your office. It's beautiful, very calming. I love the aesthetic. Can you tell me a little bit about the type of therapy sessions that you offer and the different age ranges that you offer as well?
Mm-hmm. So it's my practice consists of me and 3 other therapists. We are a very trauma-informed practice because trauma is at the root of a lot of mental health. So that is our main focus, to be very trauma-informed. My new passion is working with new mothers and mothers going through issues postpartum. But our therapists see a wide variety of issues. I have a therapist that does couples and family counseling, one that does adolescents. So we serve all different ranges.
And the maternal mental health crisis, I mean, do you see that apparent? Do you see like an uptick in women trying to seek help for postpartum symptoms or, baby blues?
Shocking to me, because when I was looking at the stats for maternal mortality rates, suicide was right up there as one of the top ones during pregnancy and even after. And that was so alarming to me, because it's like, how in this country are we losing so many mothers to suicide that it's number one up there with heart disease? And I think that is because there is so much shame in seeking counseling, and there's so much shame on new mothers, right? If you struggle with baby blues or postpartum, you feel like mothers feel like there's something wrong with you, or you're not a good mom. It doesn't make you a bad mom at all. It just makes you human. So what's concerning for me is that mothers are not seeking help, right? The issue is there, but they're not coming to counseling. So my goal is really to normalize it and take away from the shame, so they seek that counseling, so they're not falling through the cracks.
And suffering in silence. I mean, I never had postpartum, but I had the baby blues, which, happened for about 2 to 3 weeks, but I can only imagine. There's a difference between like baby blues and postpartum, correct?
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. Baby blues you see maybe even like a month after you have the baby, your hormones are adjusting, and postpartum it lasts longer, right? And tends to be more severe.
Okay. And what are the telltale symptoms for postpartum depression if a new mom is noticing certain things and she needs to get help? What could those symptoms be?
Yeah, so feeling very teary and down, lack of interest in doing things that you typically would enjoy, um, anxiety, and not just your typical everyday anxiety, but debilitating anxiety sometimes. And also, one that's not talked about often too is postpartum rage, just getting really angry. So that might look like fighting with your spouse or other family members or friends more often, and being just quick to anger and irritable.
Okay. And, not to switch topics, but tell me about your reign as Mrs. Illinois Galaxy. Tell me about all the wonderful things that you're doing and your goals for this year.
Yes, I'm really, really enjoying my reign so far. It just started. So you're one of my second appearances, which is really exciting. The first one, I collected prom dresses with some of my other sister queens.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. And so my big goal as Mrs. Illinois Galaxy is to just normalize seeking mental health care. And that's the whole goal of the book. If we can teach children at a young age that it's okay to see a therapist, it's okay to struggle with your emotions, we'll have maybe some much more healed adults that will seek therapy right away, and it will feel just as normal as going to the doctor for a checkup. And I'm hoping that will touch new mothers too, right? It normalizes it for everyone. So that's my whole goal.
So I have to ask you a question. I think a lot of women out there want to know, how can you be a wife, a mom to a baby, right? How many months is she?
10 months.
10 months, okay. And you have a full-time business, you're a licensed therapist, you're a title holder. How do you do it all? How do you do all this?
I can't do it alone. I have a very supportive family. I have a very supportive husband. I have a very supportive mom who's sitting with my daughter right now. And so while I do have lots of energy to do all these things, I don't know where I get it from. I have a huge support system. And I think that's so important, is having that support.
That's wonderful. Well, I know we've known each other from USOA, another pageant system, and you are extremely ambitious and impassioned in everything that you do. And just honored that you're here today to do this interview. And is there anything else you'd like to talk about or touch on from your reign or from the therapy service that you offer? Anything?
Yeah, I really want to normalize new mothers seeking mental health care.
Okay.
Even as a new mother, I experienced it. And at first I didn't even know it was happening. And I'm a therapist too. And I felt all those feelings of shame and not knowing what to do and why is this happening. And I just didn't understand it. And I probably didn't reach out for help soon enough because I was so confused. And when I finally did, I really didn't get the support. So there are two things I want new mothers to know. It's okay, reach out for help. I'm a therapist, I did. And if your therapist isn't working for you, find a new one. The one I, saw, and not anything against her, but it wasn't very helpful, right? She told me when I was upset to go sit outside on my porch and just cry. But there was no coping strategies in that. So I'm sitting outside on my porch crying with no support.
Okay.
And that's when I started looking for just a therapist who could match me better. And I did, and I got better. But reach out for help and be selective with that help. If you're not getting the help you need, go somewhere else. It's okay.
I know a lot of mothers who are going through postpartum depression, and it's been over a year. Is it too late to get help, or can you get help at any time at any of these stages?
You can get help at any time, at any of those stages. Okay. It's never too late. And motherhood, it's such a transformation. My husband made this point, and he's like, overnight, your life changed. You went from working and being a business owner to, when I took my maternity leave, I was completely financially dependent on him. I had to restructure my every day for my baby. And while it was a beautiful thing, and I was so happy, it was something I've always wanted, it was a huge life change. And that in itself can bring so much anxiety and even depression. So I want to normalize that feeling too, right? Even if you don't have postpartum, it's a huge transformation. And while it's beautiful, it's hard too.
Thank you so much, Joanna. I'm just so happy that you're here, and best of luck at Galaxy. And can you let our audience know where can they purchase your book? And if they want to book a service with you, how can they do that?
Yes. We have a Facebook page, White Orchid Counseling. The book will be posted there. And then if they want to book a service with us, they can email me at whiteorchidcounseling@gmail.com.
Wonderful. And I'll put in the description below all this information as well in the links. Thank you so much, Joanna.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. See you soon.
Bye.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for watching your very first Miracle Mamas Show episode. I hope you enjoyed. There's many more to come. Please subscribe and thank you. Bye. Bye.